What is the essence of spirituality?
Spirituality is a term which is very much misunderstood. The word as it is. And it is used in almost everywhere that nobody knows what it is. And it is, for some people, considered this spiritual thing means it's a superior, higher, big thing. So everybody is attracted of spirituality, but somehow it gives the feeling that if you are spiritual, you are more powerful, you are really better person, or you may be near to God or something. And so a lot of ideas are associated with this the word spirituality. It is better to look at the real meaning of spirituality. What is spirituality? Spiritual, if you go into the dictionary, the meaning is, spiritual means deep knowing. Spirituality simply means deep knowing, nothing else. That is actually the dictionary meaning. So deep knowing means knowing to the core. So when you are seeing something, you develop a quality to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Finally, there is nothing more can come out of it. You have seen everything with respect to what you are looking. And you have understood it, what it is, because you understood the essence, the base, the deep knowing about something which you are looking. And then it can be called spiritual or spirituality. So in spirituality, the study is now, when you are looking how they are studying it, spirituality, the practitioners are not studying the external world. So any attempt to understand the external world devoid of knowing oneself cannot be considered as spirituality. And if you wanted to understand the world rooted in yourself, it can be a spiritual study. You look at what is going on around. When you go to maybe a worship center or something like that, usually people go there, they close the eyes and they do something. Why people close their eyes? Unknowingly you start to look inside. So this is the very essence of spirituality. Look inside is the very essence of spirituality. Because you wanted to know the mechanism with which you understand the world. You understand the world with a mechanism, with a system. And what is that system? The system is your own mind and its functional aspects. Until and unless you master your mind with which you understand the world, you cannot be considered as spiritual. The world is multi-dimensional. It has so many things which you cannot study completely, because it's millions and millions and millions of information. Until you gather the information, focus on the information, understand the information deeply, your study will not be complete. How can we study the world in this way? Impossible, because it is multitude of informations. So the study is reduced to study the instrument of knowing with which you understand the world. The world is understood by the mind. So by understanding the mind, you are as good as understanding the world. This is the connection. So a spiritual practitioner turns inward and starts to study his mind with which he is understanding the world. That means he is deepening his study from what is reflected out, what is projected outside, to the relationship between what is projected and what you understand from the projection. You are projecting your own mind on whatever you are seeing. When I say orange, you have an idea of orange, and I show an orange, you recognize that this is an orange. How do you recognize this? Because you have a previous information about orange. So you can corroborate with that earlier information and then you try to understand this. In spirituality, this is not the way of knowing things. You are trying to understand what the mind is doing in understanding. Your study deepens to yourself and you are trying to understand what your mind is doing, how the understanding process is working. That is the deeper knowledge about yourself. And when you start to understand deeply, it is a big world by itself, because the whole world is created out of your own self-projection. The world as you understand, the world as I understand are completely different worlds depending upon your placement. From the very beginning of life till date, we are sitting in different spots. We are never sitting in the same spot at the same point of time. Based on what you understand, based on your placement, you understand the world. But the mechanism of the mind is the same. The process is the same. The information is different. In spirituality, we are trying to understand the process and master the process. Thereby, you will understand how your mind is working. This is a deep knowing. And then when you understand how your mind is working, and then what is beyond. Spirituality is deep knowing. Now you understood your mind. Now what is beyond? Inside, deeper inside your mind, you will see there is silence. Beyond. There is absolute silence beyond. And when the mind settles into the silence. And the mind evolves from the silence. It exists in the silence. Evolves from the silence, exists in the silence, it withdraws into the silence. So what is eternal? The mind or the silence? The silence is always there. And when you deepen your study, you understand that I am the silence. And my silence is permeating each and every cell of my being. And it permeates everywhere, through the walls, through the trees, through the leaves, through the sky, through the stars, through the animals, through your friends. You are extending through everything. And there is only one, that is you. You are the one. All your spite, your enmity, your animosity, your aggressions have no point to stay with you, because you understand you are. The world is you. You are. The universe is you. And you have come to the base of knowledge. And you understood what is spirituality.